special planning board meeting for September 18th, 2020. First thing I need to do is take roll, audible. So I'll call out and please respond. Rosemary?
Here.
Stu?
Here.
Dave?
Yeah.
And Peter?
Here.
And Susan. Okay, so we have a quorum. All right, and Jennifer's here.
Yes.
So first item is the owner Town of Tiverton applicant Bill Sales Firewood. Petition is for a time clock extension of the master plan. Bill's Wood Sales Major Land Development Plat 109 lots 701, 702, 703, 704 Tiverton Industrial Park, east of Progress Road, Industrial Zoning District. Discussion and possible vote. The time clock is of 90 days. Expires on September 22nd, 2020, which is next Tuesday. And that's the reason that we had to call this special meeting. And I believe there is no representative from the applicant here, which is not really required, but just to note that for the record. Okay, so what you were forwarded was 3 items: the request for time clock extension from Adam Thayer Esquire, the certificate of completeness that Jennifer signed on June 24th, and the ad hoc technical review committee meeting that was held on July 27th. So as you can see from, if you reviewed the TRC meeting, there are a number of items that needed to be addressed. Apparently those revised plans have not been resubmitted. It's not ready to go yet on the planning board for a meeting. And with the expiration of the time clock to review this, for those of you, if you don't understand, the time clock that's set from the time that the administrative officer certifies an applicant or certifies a petition complete and ready for review. We have a time clock, which in this case is 90 days. At the end of 90 days, the 3 options stated in the subdivision regulations are it has to be approved within the 90 days, approved with conditions, or the application must be denied. And if not one of those 3 things are addressed, then the application as submitted is approved by default. And that's what and we needed to avoid because you can see that there are a number of items that still need to be addressed, and we didn't want to have this master plan be approved by default as is without working through this whole process. Plus the fact that nobody on the planning board, other than I've seen a little bit of it. When Rosemary we went to the TRC, the board hasn't even had the opportunity to review this application. So with that, the request for time clock extension, which is submitted by the applicant, is representative. He's requesting a time clock extension to November 21st, 2020. And what we need to do is approve or deny that request. So do I have a motion to?
So I'll be happy to make a motion to continue the time clock to November 21, 2020.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Okay, that then go ahead and take an audible vote to approve granting this extension of the time clock. So Stu?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Rosemary?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
And Susan? Yes. Okay. All right. And that's all we have to do. So we'll let you can let the Jennifer can let the applicant.
Yes, I will let him know. Yep.
The time clock has been extended, and when it's ready, it will be advertised and placed on the planning board agenda. So our next meeting is October 6th, right? Yes, October 6th is the next
Yes, October 6th.
meeting. Appreciate everybody hanging in there for these meetings. You know, this one's a quickie, but it's better being organized to be here. So, and I just want to put out feelers real quick before we go out. Is I don't know if you would be willing to entertain the idea of a second meeting in October. Apparently the October 6th agenda has a lot of petitions on it. I'm working on the checklist, trying to get those much closer to being finished. Still have some sureties that we would like to get completed, and also, Stu's thing about that ad hoc committee. So if we use the second meeting of the month, it would be basically for planning board business. So you can think about it, and I'll ask again on October 6th if people are willing to entertain a second meeting for October. Okay?
I'll be available for a second meeting in October.
Okay.
I will too. 20th sounds good.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, later in the month is better.
Yeah, it was October 20th. Is that what you said, Jennifer? I'm trying to
20th,
Yeah, the
27th.
third.
Yes.
Yeah, the third Tuesday of the month is the 20th. So,
Yes.
it's really hard, but it's really hard, pretty close to impossible, because we've learned to try and do our business after we've done, 2.5 hours of petitions. So, but this is work I would like to get completed so we can move on to the next thing. So with that, thank you. Do I have a motion?
I'll be available too.
Okay. All right. All right. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I don't know who gets credit for that one.
Whoever.